On April 18th, 2016, security cameras inside Creekside Church of Christ in Midlothian, Texas, captured footage that would captivate investigators and the public for years to come. Shortly before 4 a.m., an unidentified individual dressed in police tactical gear entered the church. For approximately 30 minutes, they moved through the hallways, breaking glass, opening doors, and carrying what appeared to be a hammer. Within the hour, 45-year-old fitness instructor Missy Bevers would arrive at the church to prepare for her morning class. She would not survive the encounter. Nearly 9 years later, her killer has never been identified. Terry Leanne Bevers, known to friends and family as Missy, was born on August 9, 1970 in Graham, Texas. In 1998, she married Brandon Bevers, and together they raised 3 daughters in the small community of Red Oak. Before becoming a mother, Missy worked as a special education teaching assistant, a role that reflected her compassionate nature. Those who knew her consistently described her as genuinely kind, someone who made others feel valued and welcomed. As her children grew older, Missy developed a passion for fitness. She became a certified personal trainer and joined Camp Gladiator, a popular fitness company that conducts outdoor boot camp classes throughout Texas. The program holds sessions in parks, parking lots, and church grounds across the state. Missy quickly established herself as a dedicated instructor. Her philosophy centered on perseverance. She held classes regardless of weather conditions and expected the same commitment from her students. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and she developed a loyal following within the community. Twice weekly, Missy made the 20-minute drive from Red Oak to Midlothian, where she led a 5 a.m. class at Creekside Church of Christ. On the evening of April 17, 2016, weather forecasts predicted severe thunderstorms for the Midlothian area. Rather than cancel her early morning session, Missy made alternative arrangements. That night, she posted a message to her Facebook followers. "No excuses. You are gladiators." She informed her students that due to the anticipated rain, the workout would be held inside the church rather than in the parking lot. This would be her final social media post. Investigators would later note the significance of this public announcement. The post effectively disclosed Missy's precise location and schedule to anyone who might have been monitoring her social media activity. Missy retired early that evening, setting her alarm for the pre-dawn hours. Outside, the storm system moved into the region. At approximately 3:50 a.m., while heavy rain fell across Midlothian, an intruder gained entry to Creekside Church of Christ through a side door. The church's exterior security cameras were not operational that morning. However, the interior cameras were functioning and recorded what followed. The footage reveals an individual wearing what appears to be authentic police tactical equipment, a black helmet, tactical gloves, a heavy vest bearing the word police, and protective leg guards. The ensemble effectively concealed all identifying features, including gender. The individual carried what investigators believe to be a hammer or similar tool. One distinctive characteristic captured by the footage was the suspect's gait. Their feet turned noticeably outward, particularly the right foot, and they occasionally steadied themselves against the wall while walking. This unusual movement pattern would become a central focus of the investigation. For approximately 30 minutes, the intruder moved methodically through the building, breaking glass panels and doors and opening various cabinets and rooms. Notably, nothing was taken from the premises. At 4:18 a.m., Missy Bevers arrived at the church and parked near the main entrance. She began transporting her fitness equipment inside, unaware of the intruder's presence. According to forensic experts who reviewed unreleased portions of the surveillance footage, there is a moment when Missy appears to turn her head, as if alerted by a sound. This may have been the moment she became aware she was not alone. The motion-activated cameras did not capture the attack itself. Shortly after 5 a.m., students began arriving for the scheduled fitness class. Upon noticing Missy's vehicle but not finding her outside, one student entered the church to locate their instructor. They discovered Missy Bevers unresponsive on the floor. She had sustained multiple puncture wounds to her head and chest. Despite emergency response efforts, she was pronounced dead at the scene. The Midlothian Police Department, serving a community of approximately 20,000 residents, had not investigated a homicide in several years. This case would prove to be among the most complex in the department's history. Initial evidence suggested a possible burglary. There were signs of forced entry and vandalism throughout the building. However, this theory quickly lost credibility. Nothing had been stolen from the church. Missy's purse, iPad, and wedding ring remained with her body. A licensed firearm she owned was still secured in her vehicle. Police Chief Carl Smith addressed the media, stating that the suspect had deliberately disguised themselves to resemble a law enforcement officer. Investigators began treating the case as a targeted attack rather than a random crime. Upon releasing the surveillance footage to the public, the case attracted national attention. Within the first month, investigators received over 1,300 tips. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and United States Marshals Service joined the investigation. The initial 6 weeks of investigative work cost the department approximately $460,000. Forensic analysis of the footage produced a height estimate of between 5 feet 2 inches and 5 feet 8 inches for the suspect, including headwear. Investigators publicly appealed for anyone who might recognize the distinctive gait to come forward. Narrator. However, the tactical gear proved effective in concealing the suspect's identity. After initially referring to the suspect as male, police issued a correction stating they could not determine the individual's gender from the available footage. As investigators examined Missy Bevers' personal life, they uncovered information that complicated the case. Search warrants revealed that the Bevers marriage had experienced difficulties, the family faced financial challenges, and recovered communications indicated the existence of intimate relationships outside the marriage involving both spouses. Investigators discovered that Missy had been exchanging messages with a man through LinkedIn since January 2016. The communications were characterized as flirtatious in nature, and some had been deleted prior to recovery. Additionally, a friend of Missy's informed police that approximately 3 days before the murder, Missy had shown her a message from an unknown man that both women found disturbing. Investigators located and interviewed this individual, who maintained the communications were innocuous. Brandon Bevers was thoroughly investigated. However, his alibi was verified. He had been on a fishing trip in Mississippi, more than 600 miles away, at the time of the murder. 4 days following the murder, Brandon's father, Randy Bevers, brought a blood-stained shirt to a local dry cleaning establishment. Employees who had been following media coverage of the case contacted authorities. Randy Bevers explained that the blood resulted from carrying his dog, which had been fatally injured in a fight with another animal, to a veterinary hospital. Laboratory analysis confirmed the presence of animal blood. He was subsequently cleared. Ultimately, investigators officially cleared all family members, friends, and professional associates as suspects. 9 months after the murder, authorities released additional surveillance footage from SWFA Outdoors, a sporting goods retailer located near the church. The footage, recorded at approximately 2 a.m. on the morning of the murder, shows a vehicle, believed to be a 2010 to 2012 Nissan Altima, or Infiniti, G37, slowly circling the store's parking lot. The driver exhibited unusual behavior, including repeatedly activating and deactivating the headlights and parking briefly in an isolated area before departing. The vehicle appeared to display an oval-shaped bumper sticker. Despite extensive efforts, investigators have been unable to identify the driver, who has never come forward. Authorities have not definitively established whether this vehicle is connected to the murder. In 2019, investigators pursued a lead involving Bobby Wayne Henry, a former police officer. Henry retained tactical gear from his law enforcement career, attended services at Creekside Church of Christ, walked with a noticeable limp, and owned a vehicle matching descriptions of interest in the case. However, Henry stood 6 feet 1 inch tall, significantly exceeding the height range estimated from the surveillance footage. His alibi was verified, and he was eliminated as a person of interest. In 2021, the FBI consulted forensic podiatrist Dr. Michael Nirenberg to analyze the suspect's gait. Dr. Nirenberg concluded that the weight of tactical gear and weapons would significantly affect any individual's walking pattern, making it impossible to determine whether the observed gait was natural or equipment-induced. He further stated that gender cannot be reliably determined through gait analysis. Dr. Nirenberg also revealed that he had reviewed footage not released to the public, including images of Missy inside the church prior to the attack. He described a moment when she appears to turn her head, likely upon hearing something that alerted her to the intruder's presence. Nearly 9 years have passed since Missy Bevers' murder. Her 3 daughters have reached adulthood without their mother. The Midlothian community continues to hold annual memorial events in her honor, including candlelight vigils and commemorative races. No arrest has been made. Crime Stoppers of Ellis County currently offers a $150,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. The Midlothian Police Department has received more than 3,000 tips over the course of the investigation. A part-time investigator with federal law enforcement experience dedicates 20 hours weekly to the case, which remains a regular topic at departmental meetings. Police Chief Carl Smith has stated that identifying Missy Bevers' killer remains among the department's highest priorities. Investigators believe that someone possesses information that could solve this case. Someone may recognize the suspect's distinctive gait. Someone may know the origin or current location of the tactical gear. Someone may have knowledge they have not yet shared with authorities. Anyone with information regarding this case is encouraged to contact the Midlothian Police Department at 97277-53333 or Crime Stoppers of Ellis County at 97293-77297. Anonymous tips are accepted. The individual responsible for Missy Bevers' death remains unidentified. Her family continues to seek justice.